This is KPW, and you're listening to This Week in BC Minor League Sports on CJSF 90.1 FM, Burnaby. You can also find us online at www.cjsf.ca and on TELUS HD channel 7014. Thanks for tuning in today. Lots of action happening in the world of sports. Of course, in Major League Baseball, lots of news, even though they're in the off season because of awards and hirings and firings, as well as the free agency that's coming up. The NHL and NBA are already underway, and the NFL is in the second half of the season. However, this is a show about amateur and local sports, so we'll be talking about SFU Athletics and BC Major Midget Hockey League action in today's program instead. So let's get started with campus athletics news. Now, Jake Richardson, SFU Sports Information Coordinator, brings us an update about campus sports action on her weekly SFU Clan TV Sports Dash show. And here's a listen as she goes through the highlights from the final week of October.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this revamped edition of Clan TV Sports Desk. I'm Jade Richardson, and these are the SFU Athletics stories you need to know. The Clan women's cross-country team made history this weekend, winning their first ever Great Northwest Athletic Conference Team Championship and edging out five-time defending champion Alaska Anchorage by a single point, setting a GNAC record for closest team victory. The women were led by sophomore Rebecca Bassett and grad student Jennifer Johnson, who earned their first GNAC All-Conference honors for their performances. On the men's side, the Clan earned a third-place team finish led by sophomore Oliver Jorgensen, who earned his second consecutive GNAC All-Conference performance. The men's soccer team scored 6 goals this weekend en route to beating the Mary Marauders and the South Dakota Mayans Hard Rockers. Captain Jovan Blagojevich netted 3 of the goals, giving him 17 goals in 16 games so far this season. The team will wrap up the regular season this Saturday on Terry Fox Field against the Western Washington Vikings at 7:30 p.m. The volleyball team, who was named the GNAC Team of the Week last week, suffered 2 heartbreaking losses to nationally ranked opponents from Central Washington and Northwest Nazarene this weekend. The Clan dropped a close contest to the Wildcats Thursday before taking the conference-leading Crusaders to 5 sets Saturday. And finally, the football team fell 33-17 to the Humboldt State Lumberjacks on Saturday, despite a strong defensive effort, as turnovers during the game proved costly. Sophomore linebacker Jordan Herdman led the defense, breaking 3 GNAC records during the game, with a record 27 total tackles in a game, 19 assisted tackles in a game, and 134 tackles so far this season, breaking the former record of 128 with 2 games remaining in the season. To read more on these stories and for everything SFU Athletics, you can visit our website athletics.sfu.ca and be sure to stay connected with us on our social media platforms. That's it from us for now, and we'll be back next Monday.
Thank you to Jade Richardson for the update, and once again, she's the SFU Sports Information Coordinator. That was the update from the final week of October. Now, the SFU football team wraps up its season today at 1 p.m. at Swangard Stadium. They'll be taking on the Central Washington Wildcats. Again, the game is at 1 p.m. today. SFU lost last weekend to the Azusa Pacific Cougars by a score of 21-6, and the Clan football team is 2-8 on the season, really struggling this year. And again, they wrap up their regular season today at 1 p.m. at Swangard Stadium against Central Washington. So you can go out and cheer for the team, and hopefully they can pull up a victory on the final game of the regular season. Now, the men's basketball team, meanwhile, takes on Northwest Indian College today at 4 p.m. at home at SFU Burnaby's West Gym. Tip-off again will be at 4 p.m. and admission is free for SFU students. Now, the basketball team lost both of their games in the exhibition schedule and began their regular season last night, also against Northwest Indian College. The women's basketball team also began their season yesterday in California. Today at noon, they take on the Academy of Art Urban Knights in San Francisco. Their first home game will be on Sunday, November 23rd at 1 p.m. against the Cal Poly Paloma Broncos. For the latest updates on SFU Athletics, please visit their website at athletics.sfu.ca. Now, we heard from Jade Richardson, the SFU Sports Information Coordinator, earlier on the program. Now she brings an exclusive profile of SFU volleyball senior Amanda Rankema, who shares her experience as a Clan athlete for the last 5 years and also talks about her plans for the future. Speaking in this clip is also Gina Schmidt, the coach of the volleyball team.
A senior on the SFU volleyball team and a member of the inaugural NCAA recruiting class, Amanda Rankema has 5 years of Clan volleyball behind her, through the highs and lows of which she has emerged as a force to be reckoned with. This is her journey. Her decision to join the Clan in 2010 was due to the promise of competition in the NCAA, but the losses the team suffered in her first years were difficult to work through.
When I first came to SFU, I knew that it was a building year or building few years, and we did see developments, but I think I expected to win sooner, and it hasn't been until my last season here.
But the hire of a new head coach in 2013 led to a newfound team spirit, and for Amanda herself, a new way to enjoy volleyball.
It was a new chapter and a blank slate. In years past, there was this, just negative connotation, negative idea about what SFU volleyball was, and then with this new fresh start with Gina, it was like a new philosophy and clear expectations. And we wanted to work for her, we wanted to work for each other, and we were hungry for some wins.
So the middle blocker, who had served as captain since her sophomore season, was finally able to add some wins to her career.
This year we've had a lot of firsts so far, first wins, first weekend sweeps. We've made SFU volleyball history. As far as what I expect from my teammates, just like the continued support, knowing that we're all in it together and that they're doing everything they can to make our season a great season. I think that's kind of been, it hasn't been said out loud, but it's, they are playing hard for us. They want us to win, me, Kelsey, Maddie, Brooke.
And as a leader, she was able to develop even further in her junior and senior years.
We definitely look to her as a senior and a captain to carry the load. We've looked to her to be a leader on the court and to bring that offense and blocking. I think she also is a role model to the younger players in terms of how to bring people together and how to be a team player.
I mean, I fulfilled what I wish to achieve as far as being the captain of the team for the past 3 years and leading as far as skills go on the court, at least at a consistent level.
I think everybody would agree that Ranks has the ability to make pretty much everybody laugh maybe at the time where you need it, or even when you maybe don't expect it. But for sure, her presence will be missed in the gym, just in terms of her personality and the leadership she brings.
But now, the girl who gave so much to the program over her 5 years is setting her sights beyond SFU as her career comes to an end.
It is kind of scary and unknown because the last 5 years of my life have literally been set out. I've received a calendar every season. These are your practices, these are your competitions, these are your classes, and you work in between and whatnot. But I think the fact that now in January I'm volleyball free, I'm school free, is that no structure is definitely gonna be challenging, but I'm also excited because I'll probably be able to do a lot of the things I haven't necessarily been able to do. With that said, I don't think I'll completely quit volleyball. For sure, my parents, big part, they helped me through, especially the years where I redshirted and wasn't seeing the court, which was really tough. And the years where we weren't winning, I was very frustrated, and they kind of coached me through the mental aspects of that, so that they were definitely a big help. Every coach that I've had here, no matter what, I think that any person can teach you something. So all my coaches and my family, my boyfriend, always big support, understanding my schedule and being there if I need them.
And as the season ends, the Clan lose a strong leader and an excellent athlete as Amanda leaves SFU with the tools to succeed in the next chapter of her journey.
Just a fantastic story there about Amanda Rankema, again, who is finishing her career this season. A thank you to Jade Richardson for the narration. Again, with Amanda Rankema, a senior with the SFU volleyball team. as she spoke about her SFU clan experience. Also speaking in the clip was Gina Schmidt, the coach of the volleyball team. Now, actually, last Saturday night, Rankema played her final home game as the clan swept St. Martin's University 3-0 in their final home game of the season. The volleyball season wraps up tonight in Alaska against the Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks. You're listening to This Week in BC Minor League Sports with KP Wee on CJSF 90.1 FM. Now, time for some action from the BC Major Midget Hockey League. Now, if you're not familiar with the BC Major Midget Hockey League, basically these are 15 to 17-year-olds playing elite level hockey while going to school, of course, and they play the games on the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. This league basically has 11 teams, and this is divided by zones. So, for example, there is a team in Coquitlam known as the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs, and their players are mainly from the Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam, the Tri-City area there. And there's a team locally in Burnaby known as the Vancouver Northwest Giants, who actually have been a force in the league in the last several years, winning the league championships and regular season titles in the league. The Giants, they play home games in Burnaby, and most of their players are from the Vancouver, Burnaby, Squamish area. And even North Vancouver as well. And there are a few teams in the Lower Mainland. And as I mentioned, the players are 15 to 17 years old, and all of the games are free to attend. Now, most of the time, it's mostly parents who are there to watch their kids play. Also, there are some scouts around as well. You can recognize them because they have these clipboards and they're writing stuff down on their notepad or on their sheet. So I have seen scouts there before at some of these venues. Not all of the venues are as nice as while the Richmond Oval is pretty neat because obviously it's an Olympic venue. That's the home of the Greater Vancouver Canadians, and they play in Richmond at the Oval. The Valley West Hawks, who play in Langley, they also have a very nice facility that they play in. That's the Langley Event Center, which is also home to some other sports teams as well. So there are some good facilities that some of these teams play at. Some of the other ones are not as good or not as equipped, I should say, but generally speaking, it's fun to go out and watch these kids play, and very exciting hockey and very competitive as well. And like I said, the games are free to attend, so definitely it's something to check out if you are in the Lower Mainland and you like to watch some amateur sports. As I spoke about the Vancouver Northwest Giants a moment ago, they were undefeated through the first 6 weeks of the regular season, winning all 10 of their games. So they were a perfect 10-0, in the first 6 weeks of the season. Now, once the calendar turned to November, however, the Giants suffered their first two losses. And on November the 1st, that was Saturday, November 1st, the Giants lost at home to the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs by a score of 3-2, so a close loss there. And then the following afternoon, they dropped a 3-1 decision to the same Chiefs team in Coquitlam. So the Giants, after starting the season with 10 consecutive victories, dropped back-to-back games. But they did bounce back last weekend, though. The Vancouver Northwest Giants defeated the Thompson Blazers by a 3-1 score last Saturday in Kamloops to end that mini 2-game losing streak. The Giants then completed the weekend series sweep by knocking off Thompson 5-2 on Sunday. I should mention, though, Thompson is not a very good team. They haven't been for the last couple of seasons, but I guess it's good to see the Vancouver Northwest Giants back on a roll, so to speak, winning, sweeping the 2 games they played last weekend, following the back-to-back losses. the first two losses that they encountered, this season. So, hey, the Giants have a record of 12 wins and 2 losses. So again, off to a great start actually, a fantastic beginning for that team, and it should be interesting to see what happens with them because if I remember correctly, they have won the last 6 regular season titles, meaning they finished in first place in the league for the last 6 years. They didn't win the championship last year, though. They lost in the playoffs to Okanagan, which ended like a 5-year run as postseason champions as well as regular season league champions. So the Giants seem to always find ways to win. They always seem to be able to finish at the top of the standings, and this year no different for the Vancouver Northwest Giants. So I mean, they are a team that plays in Burnaby at the Burnaby Winter Club, so definitely a team to check out, since I guess you can call them a local team if you are from the Burnaby area. Now, another team that had done well recently was the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds, who came back to earn a 3-3 tie against Valley West on Saturday, November the 1st. They were down 3-1, so they were down by 2 goals with about 7 minutes left, but they came back on goals by Marshall Skapski and Jamie Hush to tie the game 3-3. Now, here's an interview with Thunderbirds head coach Bill Grieve that I did the following day. We're with Bill Grieve, the head coach of the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds. Coach, you guys came back from a 3-1 deficit with 7 minutes to go last night. Thoughts about that game?
The goalie kept us in the game for most of the game there, and they just gave us a chance to come back on the game. Once we killed off a lot of penalties, we were able to come back on them and score a couple late goals to finish up on a 3-3 tie.
Now, tell us a bit about the specialty teams yesterday, because I understand you guys killed off like a big 5-on-3 situation in the second period.
Yes, that was a big part of the game. In order for us to have success and get a tie out of that game, our penalty killers played very well. Our goalie again played extremely well and made some very key saves down the stretch in order for us to get a tie out of that game.
Now, moving forward, what do you guys need to do in order to take 2 points away from the Hawks tonight?
I think we got to stay out of the penalty box. We took over 22 minutes in penalties. We need to stay out of the box, and we just need to get pucks deep and keep it simple, and keep it simple getting out of our own zone.
Finally, Coach Grieve, you guys are at 500 so far this season. What can you do to improve upon the record and also move up in the standings?
I, again, think that we need to stay out of the penalty box. I have 4 very solid lines. I need to play those 4 solid lines all game long. And if we can play them without taking penalties, I really like our chances of being successful.
Thanks so much, Coach Reeve. Good luck tonight against the Hawks.
Thank you.
Then on Sunday, November the 2nd, the Thunderbirds defeated Valley West 4-2, with Skapski, the defenseman, that's Marshall Skapski, getting the game-winning goal midway through the third period. I spoke with Skapski as well as Dawson Rodin, the goaltender, after the game. We're with Marshall Skapski, a defenseman for the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds, a big 4-2 victory over the Valley West Hawks. And Marshall, you scored a big goal to win the game. Thoughts about that goal?
I don't know. I was kind of surprised. I was aiming for the other corner, but ended up going in, so I was pretty excited.
And I believe you kind of stole the puck from the Valley West player. Was that like a play that you practiced?
No, I sort of just saw the play kind of generate, I guess, and I stepped up because I thought he was going to pass that guy, and he ended up doing it. So I just stepped up, grabbed the puck, and shot the puck. So.
And of course, you guys came back from a 3-1 deficit yesterday, and to tie the game 3-3, and today a 4-2 victory. How big was it to get these 3 points from the Hawks?
It was huge. We really needed them to move forward in the league and hopefully get a shot at the Max tournament. So we're looking forward to some more games to get us there, and it's huge.
Marshall, obviously you're a defenseman. Can you tell us who your favorite NHL player or defenseman is?
I like Shea Weber and Drew Doughty. Those guys, I just think that they play two ends of the ice pretty well, and that's why I like him.
Awesome. Again, thanks so much, Marshall, for the interview, and congratulations once again on the big goal and the victory.
Thank you.
That was Marshall Skapski speaking with me after the Sunday game. That was Sunday, November 2nd, and actually a lot of the players I've spoken with, a lot of them seem to like Shea Weber, a big tough defenseman, of course, and not my best interview for sure. I kind of stumbled partway through there, but we were able to we managed to get through it, and again, a big performance by Marshall Skapski, the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds defenseman, scored goals in both games, actually. One that led to a comeback to a 3-3 tie with the Valley West Hawks on Saturday, November 1st, and then the following day scoring the game winner after he stole the puck from one of the Hawks players and scored a beautiful goal. I was actually at the game, obviously, and it was just a great goal. I don't have the video highlights to show you, but trust me, it was an awesome goal. And again, these are games where if you go and watch these kids play, you can sometimes see a lot of these fantastic goals, very creative plays, good passing. Definitely fun to watch. Now, I mentioned also that I spoke with the goaltender of the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds as well, Dawson Rodin. So let's take a listen to what he has to say after that game. We're with Dawson Rodin, the goaltender for the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds. A big 4-3 victory tonight against the Valley West Hawks. Thoughts on the game?
I mean, it was a really hard fought game by all the boys in our room, and we really took it to them out there. Great 2 points to get out of this.
Now, you obviously played very well in the first part of the game to keep your team in it. Thoughts about your own performance?
I mean, I thought I played about up to my standards. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but I mean, for the most part, it was a pretty good game. I had anything to keep the boys in it.
Now, you're a goaltender, obviously. When did you start playing goal?
I've played all the way up since Hockey 4, so I mean, I've been going all my life.
And I'm always going to ask a question about favorite players to you guys. And obviously, since you're a goalie, can you tell us who your favorite NHL goaltender is and why?
It'd be for sure Carey Price. I mean, he's so calm in the net, and I mean, smooth and everything. So I mean, I just try to be like him every day.
Oh, awesome. The final thing is, what do you do to stay in shape throughout the season?
I mean, throughout the season, I mean, we have lots of ice, so I mean, that really helps, and diet's a good thing to have, right? And then off season, you always I play lacrosse too, so I mean, that's good off season to stay in shape.
All right, thanks so much, Dawson Rodin, for the interview, and once again, congratulations on beating the Valley West Hawks 4-2.
Yeah, thank you.
Obviously, this is radio, so you can't see, but I guess I was intimidated when I spoke with Dawson Rodin, the goaltender of the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds, because he was huge. Right? He is 16 years old, born in 1998, so he's 16, and he is 6'4" tall. I'm only like 5'5", so I was like looking up at him when I was doing the interview. He was just huge. Obviously, that's a good thing for a goaltender. It's actually the tallest player, the biggest player on the team in terms of both height and size. So obviously, he does a good job of keeping the puck out of the net as well, making a lot of key saves, as I mentioned in the interview, by keeping the team in the game in the first portion of the first couple of periods, because while Fraser Valley did get a win and a tie in that weekend against Valley West, but the Valley West Hawks, the opponent, are actually a very good team. They were third in the league last season in the standings, so seems like Valley West always plays well, especially at home as well, since this game was at the Langley Event Center. But a huge effort by the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds to take 3 points out of a possible 4 from a very tough team in the Valley West Hawks. So definitely a great job by the Thunderbirds that weekend. You also heard a lot of, well, not a lot, but some music playing there during the interviews. That's because we were standing outside the locker room of the Thunderbirds, and they were, of course, they had loud music playing in the room because obviously because they just won the game, so they were just celebrating in there, of course. So that's what the music was there. Unfortunately, the Thunderbirds got spanked last Saturday by a score of 8-1 in Prince George by the league-leading Caribou Cougars. So after getting a win and a tie against a tough opponent in Valley West, I guess they came back down to earth by losing by 7 goals in Prince George to another tough team. So the Thunderbirds again, They are. Oh, I guess they play in Abbotsford. They're also an interesting team to kind of pay attention to. Their coach Bill Grieve is always very nice and very generous with his time. Whenever I've had to ask for interviews, has always been very nice about it. So I guess they're a team I like to see do well. So we'll see what happens with the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds this season. Now today, a trio of games in the Lower Mainland. The Valley West Hawks play host to the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs at 3:30 at the Langley Event Centre. The Greater Vancouver Canadians take on the Thompson Blazers at 4:45 at the Richmond Oval. The Fraser Valley Thunderbirds battle the defending league champion Okanagan Rockets at 3 p.m. at the Abbotsford Centre. Meanwhile, the Vancouver Northwest Giants and the Caribou Cougars will battle for first place in Prince George, and the Kootenays and North Island Silvertips do battle in Nanaimo in a game featuring a pair of struggling clubs. Kootenay and North Island have a combined total of 3 wins through 8 weeks of the season. The South Island Royals, after earning a win and a tie against Kootenay last week, are idle this weekend. So if you are in the Lower Mainland, a couple of games that you could check out for sure, depending on where you are. Because again, there's a game at the Langley Event Center at 3:30. Another game at the Richmond Oval at 4:45. And if you're in the Abbotsford, Chilliwack area, there's a game there at 3 at the Abbotsford Centre. All the games are free to attend. And again, it's fun to go and watch these kids play. Again, the games are pretty much, well, for the most part, I should say, very competitive. And of course, on this program, we will update you on what happens in the league during the course of the season. Now, of course, for all the latest news and updates from the BC Major Midget League, you can also check out their website. Also, their website is bcmml.net. That's bcmml.net. That's all the time that we have on this program. You've been listening to This Week in BC Minor League Sports. My name is KP Wee. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. In the meantime, go out to your local rinks and catch some BC Major Midget Hockey. Go out and support your SFU clan teams as they try to perform well at home. And we'll see you next week.